Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to your 5th Java tutorial with me, Travis, at mybringback.com. And although this program is awesome, I mean, we could probably sell it for $1 million. It's not going to be $1 billion program because there's no user interaction. So that's what we're going to kind of do today, is get some input from the user and use some of that input for a program instead of just barking at them for 10 times. So what we're going to do is go above this line before this finish right here, and we're going to say something called scanner. And a scanner is basically how we get the user's input. So we're going to label this variable called scanner, or I'm sorry, input from user. I don't know, whatever you guys want to label that as so you'll remember. But first I want to show you that we're getting an error. So you're like, Travis, there's nothing called a scanner. You're just giving us, just confusing us. But if we hover over it and go right here, it says import scanner, and as you can see at the top of our class, we it added this line for us. And what that is basically when we use this dog Jerome, we didn't have to import anything because over here our dog and our starting point are within the same default package. But as you can see right here, there's the JRE system library. If we open this up and open the jar, classes jar, we have all these packages, all these methods, all these objects that we can use, and there's one called java.util, as you can see right there, and there's a class called scanner. So we had to import that package and that class so we can use this scanner method, or this scanner object basically. And now what we want to do is set this scanner object equal to something. So we're going to say new scanner object, or I'm sorry, new scanner, and within parentheses we're going to say system dot in. Instead of system out where we would print something, system in is going to get the input from the user. And now what we can do is, instead of saying int finish equal 10, we can say int finish equal input from user, or whatever you labeled this scanner object as. Now it seems like this should work, but the problem is the computer, when we get that input, we need to tell it basically if it's an integer or if we're looking for a string or whatever we're looking for. So we're going to say input from user dot next int. So that's basically going to let our program know we're looking for an int. And now let's just run it real quick. Just want to show you guys. And as you can see, there's nothing here, but if you click right here, you can put something like 7 and hit enter, and it's going to bark at us 7 times. Now let's run it again and put something like Travis. It's going to give us an error. So we aren't really checking for errors, but that's okay. The next thing I want to show you guys is we're just going to copy this scanner line, and let's say we want, we're going to say, instead of input, we're going to say input words. So we have another scanner object that is looking for whatever the user types in. But now we want to have a string, say string input, or we're just going to call it words. Doesn't really matter. You guys can label this whatever you want. And again, we're going to set it equal to input words dot, and this time we're going to say either next or next line. We're going to say next line. You guys can test both those out and see what they do, but we're going to use next line. Now what we can do is, instead of barking, we can say something like, oh, system dot out dot print and words. So now let's save it and run it. Now the first time our scanner is looking for an int, so if we give it a string, it's going to crash. So let's be nice and just say like 12 and hit enter, and now it's looking for another scanner object. So we're going to say something like wow, and now when we hit enter, it's going to say wow, 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 wow. We could have hit like space there or something, but I know we're kind of going through some things quickly, but I just wanted you guys to know we set up a scanner, and then we say whether that scanner needs to be a string or an integer, or I think there's like a next double that you can use. But that's how our scanner object works. Again, you guys could have put like system out and then like said enter a string, and then up here system out enter an integer, and then run our program. And that'd be nice, and you guys could probably do that. The last thing I want to show you guys before we go, I know we're covering a lot in this tutorial, but there's also a method called print line. So print ln, and we're going to save that. And I just want to show you guys, instead of saying system out print, if we do system out print ln for line and run it again, we're going to say the same thing. Whoops. I'm going to say the same thing. 7 wow. And now it prints it on a new line. So you can use that as well when you're printing. Again, print would just continue on the same sentence or the same line, but print line prints a whole new line. Alright, hopefully you guys kind of grasped what we did with that. I know I kind of went through a lot of stuff, but hopefully you guys are still following along, and trust me, everything will make sense the more you guys go along with the series, because right now some things might be cloudy, but it'll make sense later. Anyways, on that note, I'm going to go to bed. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night or wherever you are. Peace, and see you next tutorial.